Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to GC Independent High School Interclass Debate Competition. Our topic today is This House Support Replacing Textbooks with Tablets. On my right is the government team from A1A, consisting of Mr. Benjamin Chang as the first speaker, Ms. Fion Lu as the second speaker, Ms. Tan Yong as the third speaker, and Ms. Teo Yi Lian as the fourth speaker. And on my left is the opposition team from A1B, consisting of Ms. Lin Jia-yan as the first speaker, Ms. Lin Zhi-xin as the second speaker, Mr. Zhong Wei-shun as the third speaker, and Mr. Brian Lim as the fourth speaker. Now, I would like to introduce our team of adjudicators. The adjudicators are Ms. Hall, Madam Tan, Ms. Ng. I, Lian, will be the chairperson for this debate, and Chu Zhen will be the timekeeper. Now, I'm going to introduce the rules of today's debate competition. Firstly, the maximum speaking times are 5 minutes for each speaker and 4 minutes for reply speeches. Next, during the rebuttal, members may not bring up any new arguments or new evidence except in direct refutation of material which has already been presented. Then, member will speak only when called upon by the speaker. There's to be no heckling. Besides, all speakers should attempt to both deliver at least one POI and to accept one POI during the course of the debate. There is no continuous POIs allowed. It is considered as heckling. Furthermore, the first minute of each constructive speech is considered protected time, during which no POIs can be made. In addition, no POIs and new main points may be made during the reply speeches. Moreover, the government must define the resolution. Their definition must be accepted unless it is undebatable or unreasonable. Lastly, is the time limit of competition. Time given is 5 minutes. The first bell will ring after the speaker speaks for 1 minute, like this. After 1 minute, member of the opposition team can then raise their POI. After the speaker has spoken for 4 minutes, the bell will ring like this. POIs can still make after this. POI's time given is 15 seconds. After the bell rang, the speaker will have to stop. And after the speaker has spoken for 5 minutes, the bell will ring twice, like this. The speaker will have to stop. I now call upon the first speaker of the government to present his case. Time given is 5 minutes. Please begin.
Thank you, Chairperson. A very good morning to the adjudicators, members of the floor, and my worthy opponent. My name is Benjamin, and I'm the first speaker from the government team. And we strongly believe that tablet should replace textbook. As the first speaker, I'll be giving out the definition and my first point, which is textbook cause environmental pollution. My second speaker, Fion, will be giving out 2 points and doing rebuttal. The first point would be cost efficiency of the replacement, and the second point will be convenience brought by tablets. Now, my third speaker will be doing the rebutting and strengthening our team case. Lastly, my fourth speaker will mainly be doing reply speech and sum up our team case. Now, before going into my first point, I would like to give out the definition of the keywords. The first word is tablet, which is a small portable computer that accepts input directly onto its screen rather via a keyboard or mouse, and it brings convenience into people's life. Now, what is a textbook? Textbook is a book used as a standard work for the study of particular subject. And lastly, replace, taking place of something. Moving on to my first point, environmental pollution. Textbooks are made of papers. And what are papers made from? We all know that papers are made from trees. Papers can cause deforestation and loss of environmental pollution, such as polluting the air and most of all, our lovely Mother Nature. According to the worldcount.com, worldwide consumption of paper has risen by 400% in the past 40 years, with 35% of harvested tree being used just for the paper manufacture. We are so used to seeing products in their complete form that we seldom think of how they are made and what happened after that. Let me share with you, my dear opponent. As we speak, 199 tons of papers had already been produced. Fun facts: to print a Sunday edition of the New York Times requires 75,000 of trees. According to CNN, trees cut down annually just for textbook, I repeat, just for textbook, not papers, requires 30 million of trees, and it increased 10 million from the last estimate. What I mentioned above is just the tip of iceberg, but if you want more, I can give you more. Producing textbook not only causes deforestation, but water pollution and produce waste. You might ask, why water pollution? But do you know that pulp and paper industry is third largest that polluted the air, water, and soil? Chlorine-based bleaches are used during production, which results in toxic materials being released into our water, air, and soil. Now, how does it relate to produce waste? Imagine it. When the waste don't goes to the recycle bin, where it goes to, it might end up on the streets and everywhere in your country. And when paper rots, it emits methane gas, which is 25 times more toxic than CO2. And look deeper in it, it's actually one of the reasons that causes the global warming. Nelson Mandela, the former president of South Africa, and is also a Nobel Prize winner, once said, "Education is the only power to change the world." So, if you say that textbook can bring you wisdom, and wisdom can make the world into a better place, but how are we supposed to change the world when textbook is one of the main issues that bring the most problem to our mother nature? Yet, the school are teaching us to recycle by using paper. What a joke. Error does not become a mistake until you refuse to correct it, and tablets is there to correct it. We should stop using our mother nature as credit card. And now, even the publisher is improving and turning newspaper into e-newspaper. Why? Because they realize the world is improving. Now, from what I've provided, you can see how harmful is the textbook compared to the tablet. So what are we still waiting for? Let's make the world into a better place by replacing textbook with tablets. I hope the adjudicators will stand with us, the government side, and turn this policy into a reality. Lastly, we the government will replace textbook with tablets for no doubt. With that, I pass it to you, my dear opponent. Thank you.
Thank you. The first speaker has spoken for 4 minutes and 59 seconds. Next, we'll have the first speaker of the opposition to present her case. Time given is also 5 minutes. Please begin.
Thank you, Chairperson and timekeeper. Good morning to all honorable adjudicators, respected teachers, audience, and also good morning to my worthy opponents. So I'm Lin Chayan from the opposition team. Today I would like to give up my speech opposing the motion of replacing textbook with tablets in school. As the first speaker of the opposition team, I will do some rebuttals and give out our team first main point. While the second speaker of our team, Lim Zixin, will give 2 more points to support the fact that textbooks shouldn't be replaced by tablets, and our third speaker, Chong Wei-shin, will do the rebuttals and try to strengthen our team points. Well, our last speaker, Brian, will do the reply speed and consolidate the whole points. So first of all, I would like to state that textbook is given a great attention by teachers and students in this 21st century learning process. So what is textbook? Textbooks are an integral part of a teacher's daily work and are intimately connected to the enactment of instruction. Textbooks are often perceived to reflect the officially intended curriculum by the teachers. In many cases, textbooks are also a primary information source for teachers in deciding how to present the content. So before I get into my point, I would like to do some rebuttal for some sub-points that are given by the government side. So they stated that textbooks harm the environment, but through research from the Straight News, Education Minister Dato Seri Matzir Khalid said that all reading and writing materials at all schools nationwide will be replaced with materials made from 100% recycled paper by 2022. And it included school textbook, revision materials, and even exam papers will be printed on recycled paper. So do you know that 1 tablet requires the extraction of 33 pounds of minerals, 79 gallons of water, and 100 kilowatt hours of fossil fuels, resulting in 66 pounds of carbon dioxide. Print books produce 100 times fewer greenhouse gases. So finally, to my own main point, the reason why I'm strongly against the motion of tablets should not replace textbook is because students will easily get distracted by tablets. Students may pay attention to apps, email, games, website instead of their teachers. They will use pen drive to install games or apps that are not related to their studies. How are the teachers going to know each student are paying well attention in the classroom when the classroom contains at least 30 to 40 students? Is the teacher going to do her class control the whole period just to make sure?
If you say that students don't pay attention to the class, which means that it's the problems of the student. It's got nothing to do with the tablet. Thank you.
No, I'm saying that according to the Guardian.com, students who use digital device in class perform worse in class. And why? Because according to a research from computertechnology.com, students carrying digital device like smartphone tend to check their smartphone with an average of 11.4543 times a day about non-classroom activities, and they do spend 20% of their classroom time using digital device. Besides, tablets increase the number of excuses available for students not doing their homework. Some example excuses like my tablet broke or I sent my tablets for repairing, and more excuses will be digged out by the students. As we all know, using textbook we can write down lots of short notes or important text that are given by our teachers. So how are we going to do this using tablets? Tablets contain colorful pictures and sometimes even shows up different attractive videos. This will make most of the students fascinated only with the colorful image instead of the fact. This is where they got distracted again. Thus, 87% of teachers believe that today's digital technologies are creating an easily distracted generation with short attention spans. Besides, 4/5 of students aged 8 to 18 multitask while using digital media. Tablets also enable students to cut corners or cheat on schoolwork. Students can easily avoid reading and analyzing. Thank you.
Thank you. The first speaker has spoken for 5 minutes and 3 seconds. Next, we'll have the second speaker of the government to present her case. Time given is 5 minutes. Please begin.
Thank you, Chairperson and Timekeeper. A very good morning to the honorable educators, my worthy opponents, and the members of the floor. I'm Fionn, the second speaker from the government team, and we strongly agree to today's motion, that is, this House support replacing textbooks with tablets. After my first speaker's speech, I believe that everyone now has a clear impression and mindset on how replacing textbooks with tablets can be environmental friendly. I will be rebutting the first point of the opposition team and introduce 2 points of my team, consisting of cost efficiency of the replacement and convenience brought by the tablets. Now, I would like to rebut the first speaker from the opposition side. She mentioned that a quote from Dr. Mahathir that education papers should be made 100% of recycled paper. But everything needs process. How many times do we want to waste on this recycle process that will never end without...
POI.
Yes.
But according to the New York Times, the adverse health impacts from making one e-readers are estimated to 70 times greater than those from making a single book. So, how can you justify that one tablet is not more harmful than...
Sorry, time is up.
Thank you. That's a very good question. I'll leave it to my third speaker. So, I was saying, how many years do you want this recycling process to be continuing? Let's save time, money, and energy and be smart enough to consider using tablets. Now, allow me to start my speech today with a quote from a famous president, Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers of the United States. He once said, "Beware of little expenses, as a small leak can sink a great ship." Every year when school reopens, it will be the most stressful month for your parents. Why? Because they need to buy and spend a big expense on your new textbooks. For example, according to CNBC.com, the College Board estimates that the average student in the United States spends around $1,200 a year on textbooks only. If we convert them to Malaysia ringgit with the latest currency rate, which I just checked last night, it costs approximately 4,800 ringgit. What is more shocking is that a single textbook can easily cost as much as $300, which is 1,200 ringgit already. Isn't that insane? As a small reminder, the 1,200 ringgit is not even including your school fees yet. By replacing textbooks with tablets, we just have to consume a tablet that costs around 1,500 ringgit for education purposes, but we get to save up to thousands and thousands of ringgit. Imagine replacing the 4,800 ringgit textbooks with just one 1,500 ringgit tablet. How brilliant is that? Plus, courses in the tablet can be updated easily with just the tip of your finger. And the tablet can be used for years, which means we don't have to keep buying and buying textbooks. The comparison just proves us one fact. Using a tablet is more costly than using textbooks.
Sorry, POI.
Yes?
According to Wikipedia, the books you call e-books are called digital printed books. So the books are made first, and then only e-books came out. So how can you define that the books are not so latest as?
Firstly, Wikipedia is not a reliable source. Second, that's why we need improvement, and that's what we've been talking about. Thank you. And moving to my next point, convenience brought by tablets. Now let's imagine you're walking across a 1.5 football field with a tire on your back. You would do this 8 times a day, and what you'll be experiencing is equivalent to what a typical student experiences every day at school. According to the New York Times, student studies have been made by doctors that no child should carry over 15% of their body weight on their backs, as it might cause back stress, and what's worse, nerve damage in the neck and shoulders. Why all the risk when you can replace everything, maybe 10 or even more textbooks with just one tablet? Besides that, teachers can easily customize courses and lessons for students by using tablets. For example, a student is weak in grammar, the teacher can send him or her text and exercises of grammar without holding up the progress of other students. An American philosopher and educational reformer once said, "If we teach today's students as we taught yesterday's, we rob them of tomorrow." To implement this quote to our motion today, it means that textbooks are already failing to educate children nowadays. No, thank you. Studies tend to feel tired of carrying heavy textbooks every day. So that's why our team strongly supports that replacing textbooks with tablets is a good choice. Thank you.
Thank you. The second speaker has spoken for 5 minutes and 12 seconds. Now, next, we'll have the second speaker of the opposition to present her case. Time given is 5 minutes. Please begin.
A very good morning to the chairman, honorable judges, and my fellow debaters. As a member of opposition team, I do not support that textbooks should be replaced by tablets in school. The second government speaker has tried to tell us that tablets provide cost efficiency. But paper books can be sold back to a bookseller or our juniors and classmates, allowing the students to recoup some of the upfront costs. And now come to my first point. Using tablets is more expensive than using the printed textbook. For school, there will be a considerable expenses as a statistic has shown that the cost of e-books supplied to a tablet is 552% higher than providing a new textbook. Implementing textbook requires to purchasing hardware and software, building the new Wi-Fi infrastructure, and training the teachers and administrators how to use the technology, which will cost a lot. The average battery of a tablet is about 7 hours, shorter than the length of a school day. So tablets need constantly charging. It will increase the electricity demands on school. Besides that, not every school can afford to buy and develop a program for their students to use tablets instead of textbook. Low-income schools are less likely to implement an e-textbook program and the basic classroom supplies. And many rural areas do not have access to an effective.
From what you are saying, are you trying to stop human to improve? Thank you.
There is no evidence that show that tablets are really increasing will help them improve learning in the long-term effects. And continue to my point, many rural areas do not have access to an effective broadband. This will lead to a further digital divide and the achievement gap of students between rich and poor school districts. And it will also cause the financial pressure for the students and their parents. According to the Secretary of Education, Aaron Duncan, about a third of Americans, 100 million people, do not have sufficient home bandwidth to use tablets. Even the market price of a tablet like iPad is now ranging from 3,000 to 6,000 ringgit and is equal or more than a year's school fees. And the price of e-books are more expensive as almost 20% of tax will be charged by the government to the digital products. So it doesn't provide the cost efficiency. And how many parents are willing and capable to pay for it?
And here I, madam. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. So education is a long time investment. So I don't see why investing in e-books is not a good choice. Thank you.
The iPad is just released at 2010 and there is no evidence that proves that it had really improved learning. And a broken or virus tablet requires an experienced technician to fix it, which can be very costly and time-consuming. A lost tablet will also cause loss of important notes and textbook and will cause lack of studies because of the maintenance. Yes.
It is the same if you lost your textbook or your workbook. And I never lost my textbook or my workbook. I lost my textbook and workbook, but I never lost my phone. Thank you.
And this question I will pass to my third speaker. But the most important is all of these expenses, including the tablets and the repairs, maintenance, will heavy the financial burden of families. And now come to my second point. Health problems may arise for students and teachers by replacing textbook with tablets. According to the American Optometric Association, technological devices such as tablets can contribute to computer vision syndrome, which cause eye strain, short-sighted, blurred vision, and dry eyes. People who use device more often have musculoskeletal disorder with repetitive strain on muscles.
Those symptoms of diseases that you just mentioned just now are the same when you hold your textbook this near. We never asked you to hold your e-book this near. Thank you.
Okay, the Blu-rays are more. I will talk about it's not only the physical and eyes problem, it will also cause the mental problem. By the thinner and lightweight tablet design, it used to carry close to our body because it's thin and indirectly will increase our exposure to tablet radiation. Scientific studies have shown that radiation can impair brain activity and mental development and has been linked to serious issues, not as this time, and behavioral changes, insomnia, and cancer. More specifically, radiation exposure can lead to fertility issues in both males and females, DNA fragmentation, and other skin issues. Thank you.
Thank you. The second speaker has spoken for 5 minutes and 2 seconds. Next, we'll have have the third speaker of the government to present her case. Time given is 5 minutes. Please begin.
Good morning to the adjudicators, members of the floor, and my worthy opponents. I'm the first speaker from the government team, and my name is Tan Yong-er. I'll start my speech by strengthening my teammate's point. So my first speaker had already given evidence and quotes about how those textbooks will cause such harm to our Mother Nature. And we should love our Mother Nature because Mother Nature provides a living place for us. And my second speaker, she had already told us the cost efficiency of using tablets instead of textbooks. And in this view, education is a long-term investment, and we should we should put our eyesight into the future, not just in front of us. And she also talked about the convenience brought by tablets and how tablets can be the solution for many problems now happening in our school. And now I'll start my rebuttals. For the first speaker from the opposition team, you have talked about all those problems that were happening in the classroom. But those problems like cheating and not concentrating to the classes, it is happening now, right now, when we're using textbook. Admit it, in your class there will be students that are not concentrating with their classes, and there will be cheating in exams for now, even there are no tablets are used. So why don't we change?
I'm not talking about cheating in exam. I'm talking about cheating on your schoolwork. Thank you.
And you're not cheating in your schoolwork right now? Your classmates from your class, they are not copying from one in another? They are not copying essays from internet? Are you telling me that? And that's a fact, students are cheating with their homework even right now without tablets. So why don't we have a change? And for the second speaker, you said that all of the costs that will be on the burden to the government, the school, and the parents. Now let me tell you, all your concern is for the first time when you're implementing tablet into schools. And in a long term, it is actually cost efficiency because you just need to pay it once, and all of those systems, the tablets. Yes.
E-books is not not refundable, right? Yes. Okay. But paper textbook, new or used, can be sold back to a bookseller or a classmate, allowing them to recoup some of the upfront costs. So, 係
Textbook syllabus are changed once 10 years. So do you mean that we need to print 1 billion of textbooks once 10 years, and how much trees you need to cut down? And you said about recycled paper, okay, that is just some words from a politician. How transparent is that? How many actual proof you had?
Excuse me.
No, thank you. And back to my rebuttals, you talk about all the costs, and okay, you talk about parents that cannot afford those fees. Well, let me tell you something. Don't look at any city right now. Look at our streets. Those branded stores are all over our streets. And if they can survive, that means there is somebody purchasing something in there. And if our economy, society can support such branded outlets all over the world, I cannot see why we cannot support just one tablet for each student. And you talk about health problems. Well, for vision problems, I would want to provide you a statistic is that glasses are invented in 1290. And tablets used for education are invented in 2001. There's an 800 years gap between these. So you're telling me that eye vision problems does not appear before this tablet thing appeared? And you talk about mental issues, but what does that even be relevant to our topic today? And for back problems, I believe the 10 textbook in your...
Please.
No, thank you. And I believe those 10 textbooks in your school bag right now will be more harmful than a tablet. And and you also talk about radiation. And you know, actually for each electronic device we had in our daily life right now, is they only will you'll be only exposed to below zero severe radiation, and and for all the evidence I've proved to you, our house strongly believes that we should support replacing textbook with tablets in school. I'll pass the case to you, my opponent. Thank you.
Thank you. The third speaker has spoken for 5 minutes and 16 seconds. Next, we'll have the third speaker of the opposition to present his case. Time given is 5 minutes. Please begin.
Thank you, Chairperson and Timekeeper. Good morning to honorable judges, teachers, students, and fellow competitors. I'm the third speaker of the Oppo team, Chang Wei-Xun. I'll be rebutting I'll be strengthening our team's points first. Well, first of all, why change textbook with tablets? Well, it costs so much on the first buy, and we need to buy more ebooks, and it is not refundable, and still harm the environment. We have to pay for a rebuilt classroom, buy ebooks that are not refundable. Yeah, this has it. Pay for repairing fees, getting annoyed by the slow Wi-Fi speed, and for the tablets itself. Okay, and other than that, tablets still cause health problems to us that maybe lead to eye strain, like she said just now, and furthermore, for serious case, it may also lead to eye disease. So why spend money to buy a tablet that could bring harm to the environment?
POI, sir. A Japanese engineer, Ginichi Taguchi, once said, "Cost is more important than quality, but quality is the best way to reduce cost." Thank you.
How can you define that the book has no quality of it? Because ebooks is based on books to type it out. Okay, this is my answer. And as in 2015, only 30% of textbooks are available electronically. This could mean that not all textbooks are sold across internet, and most of them.
POI, sir.
Yes.
That's why this tablet education thing is a long-term investment. Thank you.
But we are talking about now. Yeah. And most of them only come in English. This brings a lot of problems to countries like United Arab Emirates, because there were teachers with different nationality in different countries. Okay. Therefore, teachers need to learn for classroom training system in English unless there is developed custom applications and materials is custom developed in Arabic. And that's what I'm strengthening my team's point. And now I'll be rebutting the points of the second speaker first. According to Forbes.com, only 53 places. Tablets may be portable for us, but it is more expensive, and the risk of having it stolen is higher than textbook. Who would steal your textbook if it is so heavy and so cheap for textbook? But for your tablets, it is very dangerous for us to bring it around, because if we do want to do other things, and not all electronics are now waterproof, and it could get spoiled easily. Okay? And tablets shift the focus of our learning from teachers to tablets, digital devices sorry. And with that, we will lose the chance to remember a particular teacher who taught us an inspirational lesson, and at a critical time, believe in you. It is hard to encourage a tablet performing the same role. And one tablet requires the extraction of 33 pounds of mineral, 79 gallons of water, and 100 kilowatt hours of fossil fuels, resulting in 66 pounds of carbon dioxide. This is the evidence that proves one tablet is more harmful to the environment than books.
POI, sir.
Yes.
According to our reliable sources from Intel.com, it shows that the most important part and most parts of the tablets are actually made from silicon, which is sand, commonly known as sand, that is all over the beach. Thank you.
And how about when they need to extract the sand, everything is considered minerals, right? Yes. Okay. And printed books produce 100 times fewer greenhouse gases than tablets. So why do all the students need to buy tablet if they have their textbooks and they just need to bring their textbooks to school, but not their tablets. Because there's like thousands of schools in Malaysia only, and there's like 1,000 and more students in each school. So if the government or the schools need to support their students with tablets, then that will cost much than usual. Okay, and
Pure Eye, sir, I believe you are misleaded. We are not trying to say the government will provide us the tablets. We are trying to say each family will provide their children one. Thank you.
Like my family, I have as an example, my family has 3 children. So do my parents need to buy 3 tablets for us? That costs like 18,000, right? Okay. And here's all my rebutting. Thank you.
Thank you. The third speaker has spoken for 5 minutes and 6 seconds. The first, second, and third speakers from the government and opposition have delivered their speeches. Before the both teams deliver the reply speeches, each team will be given 2 minutes to discuss. Start now. Alright, the discussion time is up. Here is the rules for reply speeches. After the speaker has spoken for 3 minutes, the bell will ring like this. And after the speaker has spoken for 4 minutes, the bell will ring twice. The speaker will have to stop. Now is the time for reply speech. We will now invite the opposition team to present his reply speech. Time given is 4 minutes. Please begin.
Okay, thank you, Chairperson and timekeeper. Okay, a very good morning to the honorable educators, fellow audiences, and my government team, and everyone present here today. Okay, so I'm the fourth speaker, and my name is Brian, and what I'll be doing is I'll be consolidating the points that our team has given. Okay, so firstly, stated by Ms. Lim Chia, she stated that tablets could cause distractions to students. Okay, so why did she state that? Why did we say that tablets could cause distractions? Okay, so firstly, tablets have many attractive features. Okay, so this might influence those students and cause them to be distracted and not focusing on their studies. This might be a cause. Okay, so next, how are teachers, because of this cause, how are teachers going to know what they're doing in the class? Okay, because there's considered a massive number of students in class, about 40 to 50 persons in the class. How is the teacher going to manage the whole class? Okay, so
is the teacher going to check one by one what are they doing? Okay, although they might have a mobile device management of tablets, which the teachers can access to the tablets, each and every person's tablets, okay, so they might know what the students are doing. But we are considered millennium students, and it's in the 21st century, so there might be students that knows how to hack the system and still get unnoticed by the teachers. Okay, so next is stated by Mr. Musician is the price, the financial needs to get these tablets. Okay, so through a few statistics and researches given by her, it's about 552% higher. The tablets, the cost about 552% higher than normal textbooks, okay, which is, to me, is very high. Okay, next, in order to get a tablet, you not only need to pay for the tablet itself, but also need to pay for some hardwares, softwares, chargers maybe, or some accessories that you need. And the battery life of the tablets is about average 7 hours for the tablet. So we need to charge every 7 hours. After every 7 hours we use the tablets, we need to charge them, which may lead to an increase in the electrical usage. Okay, so this might cause also another financial issue to us. Not only the electrical fees in the schools, but our society, even our homes, because we need to charge our tablets at our homes also, not only in schools. Okay, so next, which is health problems. Okay, so there are a few health problems that could be caused due to tablets. Okay, so I'll mention it again. So one is the American Optometric Association. Okay, so according to the American Optometric Association, it might contribute to computer vision syndrome and musculoskeletal disorders with repetitive strain on muscles, and more. The radiation from the tablets could also impair brain activity and the child's mental development. Okay, so these are the few points that our team stated out, and I just want to strengthen them again. So next, from the government team, you stated that tablets could be a source for improvement for the education of students, which I agree with that. But I also believe that with our textbooks, thank you.
Thank you. The reply speaker has spoken for 4 minutes and 3 seconds. Now, let's invite the government to present the reply speech. Time given is also 4 minutes. Please begin.
Thank you, Chairperson and timekeeper. A very good morning to honorable educators, members of the floor, and my worthy opponents. I am Elaine, and I am the fourth speaker of the government team. Now, I'll be doing the reply speech by concluding both teams' points and elaborate on some of the main clashes of this debate and do a comparison. So, the main and most important clash in this debate is the cost used by replacing textbooks with tablets. The opposition tried to explain why textbooks shouldn't be replaced with tablets, but their arguments are filled with assumptions, and their points are not relevant enough to support their claim. The points that they provided include, they said that students will be easily get distracted by using tablets, and they said that tablets are more expensive than printed textbooks, and they said that health problems would be caused by tablets, especially talking about radiation, and which causes mental problems. But admit it, radiation is everywhere. If you want to stay out of it, please lock yourself in an empty room and place a cactus beside you. So, we, the government team, already proved that the points above are not relevant enough through our rebuttals by giving out reliable examples and proof. So, in contrast, we, the government team, provided substantial evidence as to why we should replace textbooks with tablets. The points that we provided include environmental pollution, cost efficiency of the replacement, and convenience brought by tablets. Dear adjudicators and the members of the floor, we are now looking into the future of our future pillars. We are now providing an alternative to solve our problems right now. So, what we are talking right here is not only mainly focusing on the students, but also the parents, the school, the country, and the most important thing, our Mother Earth. We reduce the trees needed to be used by doing this replacement. And think about it, 30 million trees are used per year to be made into textbooks. How much would it be for 10 years, 20 years? We should make this policy into reality because the longer we use textbooks, the more they have to cut down the trees. Next, we are cutting down the cost every year so that we can lessen our parents' burden and the school's burden. Another reason for this replacement is because it brings convenience. Teachers, imagine that you're standing in front of 40 students and teaching them the same thing when they actually have different minds, different thoughts, different needs, and different gifts. We want them to improve. As teachers, we should improve each individual by giving them customized lessons, upgrading them on what they really need, as stated by my second speaker. So, by replacing textbooks with tablets, we could actually achieve this objective. Please don't take this replacement as a small matter because we are looking into our students' future. They may be 20% of our population, but they are 100% of our future. So, we the government team strongly believe that this House supports replacing textbooks with tablets in schools. And I rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you. The reply speaker has spoken for 3 minutes and 13 seconds. We have now come to the end of the debate. We will now invite the adjudicators to adjourn to the meeting room to make a decision. Thank you.